Hi from Technology Days 2011 volunteers. My name is Melissa and I work for a program called BioTrek, which is the outreach program of the UW-Madison Biotechnology Center, and we also partner with UW Extension. I hope you all are excited and ready to help teach science to the kids at Farm Tech Days. What I'm going to do in the following videos is give you a brief overview and some of the key teaching points of the activities that you guys are going to be helping us do at Farm Technology Days this year. So the activities that I'm going to go over are extracting DNA from wheat germ, micropipetting, invent the squirt gun, and the glow germ challenge. The first activity we're going to go over is extracting DNA from wheat germ. So first I'd like to ask the kids if they know anything about DNA, or what is DNA. And you may get that DNA is like the building blocks to life, or it's the blueprint. So first what we're going to do is grab the tube that has the wheat germ in it, have the kids open the tube up, maybe dump a little in their hands, look at it, make some observations. What does it feel like? What color is it? Maybe even smell it. Then scrape as much as you can back into the tube. Next, have the kids find the 20 mark on the tube. They're going to add the water in the clear bottle up to the 20 mark. You can talk about, if they're old enough, what units you're measuring in. So since we're adding water, it's a volume, or you're measuring a volume or a fluid, it's going to be 20 milliliters. That's the unit. Now put the covers on nice and tight. We're going to shake up the tube for about 3 minutes. All of this is on the instruction sheet that you see there. As you're shaking, you can talk to the kids about where do you find DNA. It's inside the cell, in the nucleus, and you can talk about what is the water doing. The water is kind of making like a wheat germ Kool-Aid, so it's helping dissolve the flakes into cells, and that's important because when we break it down into cells, we're getting closer to being able to get the DNA out of the cells that we're working with. Once they're done shaking for 3 minutes, then what you're going to have to do is grab one of the either the green or blue little soap tube. Doesn't matter what color it is, it's all just dish soap. And you're going to open up both tubes and just let the soap drain in. Not all of the soap will come out. It'll be okay, just get out as much as you can. There you go. When you've gotten out as much soap as you think you can go ahead, take it off, and then you'll cap it up and set it down on the table. Close up the tube, and then this time instead of shaking, we're going to mix it by rocking it back and forth nice and gently. We don't want to make a lot of bubbles in this step. So now as the kids are rocking the tube back and forth, I like to ask them why they thought we added soap. So you can see what kind of answers they'll give you. Popular one is it's cleaning it, but that's not quite what it's doing. So we're using the soap, it's breaking open the cells because the cells have a protective membrane called the cell membrane, and it's made of some fats and greasy molecules called lipids. So it's acting just like how soap acts on a greasy dish pan. The soap can surround the grease and fat, and it makes it easier to break up and move around. So the soap is essentially breaking open the cells right now for us. So now I'll do that for 3 minutes, and I have a tube that has been gone for 3 minutes of rocking it back and forth to make sure that we broke open enough cells to extract the DNA here in the next step. So now what you're going to do is open up the tube and find the 35 mark. You're going to add the blue alcohol up to the 35. And what we want to do is pour kind of slowly. We're going to pour on a little bit of an angle. And if there are any bubbles in the tube, the bubbles can go above. I would like the alcohol up to the 35 mark. And now here, as you can see, the tube, it has some layers in it. There's the cell solution with soap on the bottom, and then the blue alcohol is sitting on top. They separate because of density. And in the blue part, there was some white stringy stuff, kind of looks like snot. That's actually the DNA. So what you can do is take the wooden end of the big swab, spin it around in the blue part, and the DNA is going to stick to the wooden end of that swab pretty easily. So you kind of twist it around like you're trying to spin cotton candy, and it'll stick to the wooden swab. You can get a little clear plastic tube and scrape it in there. Don't be afraid to touch it. Use your fingers to scrape it off into the tube. You can get as much or as little DNA as you want to take. back with you. That's fine. So then once you've made sure to collect the wheat germ DNA glop into the little tube, you can close it up. That's theirs to keep. The big tube can be closed, and then we'll take that back as well. So that's extracting DNA from wheat germ. Next is micropipetting. So first there's a sheet that kind of shows the basic features of the micropipette. The button on top that has the 2 stops, stop 1 for sucking up liquid and stop 2 for pushing it out. The tip ejection button, the handle, it's going to show you the range and also where a tip should go on the micropipette. To begin using the micropipette, you can see they're sitting on the stand. They come in different sizes. These are all fixed volume pipettes, so you're going to hold your hand out like you're shaking hands with someone. Your thumb can go up and down on the button on top, seeing stops 1 and stops 2. Then on the side, there's a little window. It's showing you the range. That green one was 1,000, and the purple one here is 200 microliters is the unit we are measuring in. Next, you need a tip on it. Just put it over the tip, press it down gently, and then pull up. The 1,000 and 500 microliters, take the blue tips out of the big box, and the 200 and lower pipettes, take the tips from the smaller green box. Again, just hold it over the top, press down gently, and pull up. Now to suck up liquid, we hold it like before, press down to the first stop, dip it in the water, pull it up, you'll see liquid is in the tip, and then go over the microtiter tray and then press down on the button to the second stop. And the kids can go ahead and repeat that and fill up as many of the wells in the tray as they want. They can make a little pattern. They should make sure and try the different sizes, micropipettes. Let's see what's the difference between, say, 200 microliters and the 1,000 microliters that I'm moving right now. Once they're done micropipetting, there will be a cup that you guys will have labeled tip disposal. So then all they do is hold the pipette, press down on that white ejector tip button, and they can push the tips off into the cup. We want to make sure that there's always a tip on the micropipette when it's being put in the water.